from the Department of Communication in Phillipsburg. This is 30 Minutes with Government with Cedric Peterson.
Hello and welcome to this edition of 30 Minutes with Government. I'm Cedric Peterson. Minister of Tourism and Economic Affairs, the Honorable Claret Connor, has announced a new charter flight by Arkefly from Holland starting November 1st, 2015. Based on discussions that have taken place, Arkefly will start flying to St. Martin using a Dreamliner Boeing 787 aircraft, which has a capacity of 300 seats. Minister Connor disclosed via press release that the government is pleased that Arkefly is returning to the island and already have 14 hotels that will be included in their product line. Minister Connor also stated that the added airlift will assist St. Martin in reaching the leisure travelers, which targets a different clientele than those that may travel on KLM. The minister's cabinet and the management of the St. Martin Tourist Bureau recently met with the Arkefly representatives. Product Group Manager for the Caribbean, the Americas, and South Africa, Mr. Rob Ostendorp, and Product Purchasing Manager for Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, Mr. Sebastian de Vries, who confirmed the possibility of having Arkefly and TUI provide service to St. Martin. It was decided that the year-round service would resume with operations from Amsterdam to St. Martin twice weekly on Wednesdays and Sundays. The scheduled route for this service is Amsterdam, St. Martin, Curacao, and return to Amsterdam. On Saturday, February 28th at the University of St. Martin, a certificate ceremony was held for those civil servants who successfully completed the USM course in English and Spanish. The courses were organized by P&O, Personnel and Organization, and executed by the University of St. Martin. The funds were made available by USONA with regards to the IVB Institutional Strengthening Project. Present at the ceremony were Minister of TIAT, the Honorable Claret Connor, Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, Dr. Anders Jorien Woyte, and General Affairs Director of Resources and Support, Mr. Erno Labega.
It's my distinct honor to represent the Honorable Minister, Mrs. Rita Bourne-Gums, and she extends her sincere apologies for not being able to be here with you, but she has a very good, valid reason, because with her busy schedule, I'm sure everybody agrees that she would not want to miss the birthday of her daughter. So that's a good reason, and therefore, indeed, as Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, it's our distinct honor to be here to participate in this celebration, this ceremony, graduation ceremony, as an indication, indeed, that St. Martin and USM and also the government takes continuous learning, adult education serious. As the minister, and with her the ministry, envisions that indeed St. Martin should continue its development with economic prosperity, with personal, as we dub it, human capital development and opportunity, we therefore welcome this partnership between USM and the government. It can be seen as a positive initiative to emphasize the importance of expanded and renewed knowledge. An example of, as I mentioned earlier, adult education with possibilities to further develop curious adult learners. And in addition, it also helps a government that needs to renew itself and show an example within our beautiful, diverse society. Because we are, as government, the biggest employer on the island, and as civil servants, that's something that we should not downplay. Thirdly, of course, this initiative also displays that USM can, in addition to the regular open registration, also display some serious initiatives in contract education and display entrepreneurship, because, of course, a successful organization is also based on a balanced budget. It is indeed an initiative that reconfirms that we should position ourselves within the region, on the island, and also in the whole world, actually, as a knowledge center, and that we see this initiative as one of the fundamental pillars to build knowledge in the society. We're shaping you as civil servants to be and continue to be professionals, as the Dean indeed emphasized, professionals within your family, within your community, within your job, and your society at large. So therefore, indeed, on behalf of the Minister, I congratulate my fellow civil servants with their accomplishments. A new certificate, I'm sure it will complement your already extensive curriculum even furthermore. And I hope that this course and various other courses that USM has to offer enticed your appetite for more learning either with the government or on your own, as you can enroll as an individual student as well. I hope therefore that this initiative will further contribute to your motivation to your professional career in government, and that it will help to maybe even, since this was about and is about languages, being Spanish, Dutch and English, that it will strengthen us as a country, emphasizing multilingual societies. Yeah, because that is the way forward, that emphasizes our position within the region and in the world, and indicates that we are indeed a beautiful gem to which we all contribute.
St. Maarten is one, if not, the Netherlands Antilles, former Netherlands Antilles, now St. Maarten in the Dutch Caribbean islands. One of some of the few islands in this entire Caribbean that offers higher education through scholarships to children or students coming out of school here. Call any country, any neighboring country in the English-speaking Caribbean, you have to be extremely competitive to get 1 or 2 or 3 of the 5 scholarships that the government gives. So we support our students in higher education. Most of those islands don't have universities either in their countries. But I always looked to those who didn't get those scholarships, which are the civil servants. And from there, you have to support continuing education to the civil servants. The government embarked on a program a few years ago in offering an associate's and a bachelor's degree in the former government and former constellation. And this is continuing now where we offer. So when I started this, goeienacht, bonsoir, all of that is important, because all those languages are important, because that's who we meet now at the front door. Those are the people that are coming to the front door and in those languages. And you're speaking those languages to you, and you can't run around and say, no, I don't speak Spanish anymore. We have to offer the service. We have to offer the service, at least try to understand what they're asking, saying, or doing, so we can offer a good service.
Minister of Finance Martin Hassink on Monday said there will be no extension of the deadline to pay motor vehicle tax. The deadline to pay motor vehicle tax, as stipulated in the law, was February 28th. The minister said the provision of license plates and all related aspects were on schedule this year, and as such, no extension is warranted. Now that the deadline has passed, the tax administration will inform the police department, and a date will be set for motor vehicle controls. This will most likely happen after the Heineken Regatta. Persons who fail to pay their 2015 motor vehicle tax by February 28th could lose the right to their numbers. 30 Minutes with Government will be right back after these important messages. Stay tuned.
Absolute champagne sailing.
There's a place where things can go wrong. There is no better place than that than St. Maarten.
shifts, good challenges.
Typical Caribbean conditions, really.
Always a great day in paradise.
It's one of my favourite regattas. It's great location, great courses, great island, great parties.
When you're racing, it's tough business. Much tougher than it is to party.
Do some serious racing, have some serious fun, and have a great experience on the Friendly Island.
The Department of Infrastructure Management within the Ministry of VRAMI are quickly expanding their community council network across the island in efforts of fostering an island-wide community consciousness among community councils and residents to proactively contribute to the enhancement of their surroundings. The Upper Princess Quarter Community Council was the latest community council to meet with the Infrastructure Department last week to discuss challenges in their community and identify strategic methods of approach. The council made references of their district being amongst the busiest in the island, and many traffic signs and road markings needed to be placed, repaired, or repainted to secure traffic safety among motor vehicles and pedestrians both visiting and residing in the area. The council also elaborated on the concerns and challenges regarding flexible versus prohibited actions that could be taken by council members with regards to undesignated dumping grounds and other matters that are occurring on private and public properties. Members of Public Works clearly identified the approaches to be taken by members on reporting and independent preventative practices that would assist in mitigating those concerns. The Upper Princess Quarter Community Council is the third participating council to join the collaboration between councils, VRAMI and the community police, to better execute their task responsibilities and enhance the quality of life across all areas on the island. The Financial Intelligence Unit, FIU, will hold its second information session of 2015 for real estate agents and companies on Wednesday, March 11th at the University of St. Martin at 7 p.m. Real estate agents are the service providers that act as an intermediary with respect to buying and selling real estate. 30 Minutes with Government spoke with Mrs. Laziza Thielen, supervisory official at FIU, who gave insight as to the importance of the information session. Can you explain your role as a supervisory official within the Financial Intelligence Unit?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be sitting here and explaining a little bit about the Financial Intelligence Unit, or the FIU as we call it in short. Well, basically, the FIU St. Martin was established 10th of October 2010. And it consists of two departments, the analyst department and the supervisory department. The analyst department is the department that takes care of the reporting of unusual transactions. This analyzes the reports, reviews them, and see if there's anything tangible with regards to money laundering or terrorism financing, because that is what it's all about. And the supervisory department is effectively functioning since last year, 2014. Two supervisory officials, myself included, were appointed to perform the supervision task. Basically, the National Ordinance Reporting Unusual Transactions appoints the FIU as the supervisory body for 8 sectors. We call them the Designated Non-Financial Businesses and Professions, the DNFBPs. And these are the jewelers, real estate agents, accountants, administration offices, tax advisors, lawyers, notaries, and so it's basically 8 sectors that we supervise. They have different obligations, amongst others the reporting of the unusual transactions and doing customer due diligence with their clients and their vendors or suppliers, having a compliance regime set up, appointing a compliance officer. And what we as supervisory officials basically do is making sure these supervised entities comply with the legislation.
Why has the Financial Intelligence Unit chosen to have an information session for the real estate agents?
We have chosen the real estate sector specifically for next week because of, first of all, the duty of the FIU is to hold information sessions for the reporters and the supervised entities to inform them and, of course, assisting them into being compliant. And there was a previous section last year for the real estate sector, and the sector requested a follow-up to this information session, and that is why we are holding a second information session for the sector.
Why is it important for the real estate agents to attend this information session?
It is important for the real estate agents to attend because we will be explaining the legislation in a more understandable way. They can ask us questions. We are going to give them a heads up of what is coming for their sector, and most important of all, this is a mean to stay one step ahead of the ones who don't attend the information session, because last December we already communicated to the sectors that the entities that are consistently non-cooperative with the instructions of the FIU, who don't attend the information session, might be sent to the public prosecutor's office for them to be sanctioned. And we are not doing it right now, but if they attend the session, they also show us that they want to cooperate, that they follow our instructions, so they stay one step ahead.
Are there any specific requirements to attend this upcoming session?
Well, there are no specific requirements. The only thing the real estate agents have to do is call us or email us and get themselves registered. So they can be on the attendance list for the session.
Is the information session open to the general public as well?
Well, actually, it is specific for the real estate agents, but we might appreciate if general public who wants to know more or about the real estate business attend.
Will information sessions also be held with other sectors within the community?
Yes, we will be holding information sessions for each sector. And after the real estate information session next week, we will be holding one for the car dealers and for the accountants. And that is end of March is the one for the car dealers, and at the beginning of April for the accountants.
Stay with us. You're watching 30 Minutes with Government.
Absolute champagne sailing.
There is a place where things can go wrong. There is no better place than that than St. Martin.
Big shifts, good challenges.
Typical Caribbean conditions, really.
Always a great day in paradise.
It's one of my favourite regattas. It's great location, great courses, great island, great parties.
When you're racing, it's tough business. Much tougher than it is to party.
Do some serious racing, have some serious fun, and have a great experience on the friendly island.
Four talented students of the Milton Peters College walked away with their very own Samsung Galaxy Tab 4 as a prize and the opportunity to execute their project proposal after winning the first Youth Desk competition, which was held last Friday by the Department of Youth Affairs. The group, consisting of Milton Peters College students Makiel Vailinas, Kristen Rojo, Rojani Hippolyte, and Sandra Sitaut, presented their proposal on the theme of child abuse under the title, "It Shouldn't Hurt to Be a Child." The presentation, which started out with a moving poem on the topic of child abuse, highlighted the problem on the island and gave a detailed plan on how they thought the victims can get help. The students have made their presentations before the Honorable Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, the Honorable Rita Bourne-Gums, and the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education of Culture, Youth and Sports, Department Head, and other officials of Youth Affairs, and a panel of judges. The Youth Desk is a project that was officially launched on January 19th of this year by the Department of Youth Affairs. The idea for the project originated as a follow-up from the 2013 Youth Roundtable Conference. In our final story, 30 Minutes with Government highlights interviews that took DECOM inside the Social Economic Council, one of various advisory bodies that we established when St. Martin became an autonomous country within the Kingdom of the Netherlands. For a deeper insight into how this advisory body functions, DECOM spoke to Chairlady of the Board of the Social Economic Council, Mrs. Oldine Bryson Ponteflat, and Secretary General, Mr. Gerard Richardson.
Madam Chairlady, what is the function of the Social Economic Council's board?
The role of the Social Economic Council is to give government advice, solicited and unsolicited, meaning that they can ask our advice or we can on our own advise them.
How is each member appointed and for what length of time?
There are three sectors in the said board. We have the representation of the union, representation of, so that's the employees, representation of the employers, and independent members. And each member is assigned to 3 years. After the 3 years, we have a new election, and they can be reappointed or they can resign.
And how are the members chosen?
Each sector chooses their own member, and then it is sent on to the Prime Minister, and then it's okay, then it's sent on to the Governor for the decree.
The assignments initiated by SER. Let's go a bit into that. And who gives these assignments and what is the authority to do so?
Well, in our ordinance, it says that we can give unsolicited advice. So we are here, it's social and economic. So our task is to reach that balance through consensus within the board. Many times for a whole while, Social Economic Council focused more on economics. Economics is very important for our country. But it's also quality of life is also very important. Social aspect is also very important. We and the Social Economic Council, we keep tab on what is in the newspaper, what is going on in our society. And when we see, we hear talks, we hear people, a subject coming up all the time, be it via politicians or in social groups, and then we approach that and we tackle that, we bring it forward to the board, and the board decides, well, okay, together it's important enough for us to tackle that subject and give an unsolicited advice. How do we work? When we work in committees, and that is not always so, but in my tenure, I decided to work in committees. Each committee is headed by a member of the board and other members who are interested in the committee, in that subject. And there's also a staff member. And the committee will deal with it, bring in their expertise, and the staff member can also bring in expertise, does all the minute taking, and if we have to get information, they go for the information, and after they held their meeting separately to our board meeting, their findings are put forward to the board, and we keep on going until we reach a consensus. And then when it is finished, and it's an advice, unsolicited advice, we would send it on to the Prime Minister, to whom we are responsible. But you have to be smart when giving an unsolicited advice, because if everybody's talking about trees and you are going to talk about garbage, you know your trees are not going to reach anywhere. So you have to really tune in to see where is the focus now and where can it make an impact.
What is the Social Economic Council, SER, and when was it established?
The Social Economic Council, SER, is an advisory body. In Dutch you say Sociaal-Economische Raad. We were established by law in December of 2010, but the board members were appointed in May of 2011.
Why was SER established?
Well, one of the requirements since becoming country, as 10-10-10, a few institutions were required. You have the High Councils of State, and the SER as an advisory body was also a requirement for country St. Martin, so it was established as such.
What is the objectives and responsibilities of SER?
Well, our main objective is to advise government on social economic topics. That's our core work, task. Our objective is to promote economic growth and also improve the quality of life of the people of St. Martin.
What has SER accomplished since its inception?
Since our inception, we have successfully organized 2 conferences. The first one was in 2013. We organized a conference on corporate social responsibility. And last year we did one on inclusive development. Besides that, we have also attained membership in the ACCIS. The ACCIS is an international councils for social economic councils in the world. It consists of about 70 members. We became members in 2012, and in 2013 we were allowed to join the board. We petitioned for membership on the board, and we became members of the board.
What is SER's year plan for 2015?
Our year plan for 2015 depends mainly on government, depending how many advices we get in. We also plan, if the budget would allow us, to organize another conference. We're also looking forward to giving more presentations. We have one scheduled with the Council of Ministers, have one scheduled for the Youth Parliament. So we're busy giving more information about the SER, letting it be known what we do and what we stand for.
We've come to the end of this edition of 30 Minutes with Government. Be sure to log on to stmartingov.org for more information on what's happening in government. On behalf of the government of St. Martin and all of us here at the Department of Communication, I'm Cedric Peterson. Thanks for watching.